John Gourley and his wife Zoe Manville were at the height of their success with their band Portugal the Man's Grammy-winning single, Feel It Still. But then their daughter Frances began showing signs of a devastating disease.
She was 9 in the pandemic, 2021. We were doing homeschooling and she just seemed to kind of deteriorate. Then she started to fall down a lot, which at the time I didn't know if it was her just kind of being clumsy.
I love you.
4 years after that hit single, their 12-year-old daughter was diagnosed with a rare genetic disease, DHDDS.
DHDDS is a neurodegenerative, neurodevelopmental disease. Part of the things that come along with it is epilepsy.
When did you realize this is something that is clearly really serious?
We started seeing her have these seizures.
Seizures?
Start falling down.
Really at the time it just kind of looked like her falling asleep for a few seconds.
It was just like instant.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
it's not what you think of when you think of seizures.
Before we get into what happened next, describe her as a little girl. She's pretty awesome.
Yes, she's like a little comedian. She's very funny and loving.
Well, I love the way she walks into a school and she's like, hi, Billy, hi, Jeff, hi, Sarah. Like,
Yeah.
she's just like, what's that? How are you? How are you? It's infectious.
And watching her on stage with you guys too is equally infectious. There's something about her. She is fearless.
Yes, I was gonna say no inhibition.
DHDDS is a rare disease and only 70 people in the world are known to have it. So when you got the diagnosis, and it must have just sounded like a bunch of letters, how did the doctors explain it to you?
So DHDDS is like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia in kids. It's neurodegenerative, and that's probably the scariest thing you can hear as a parent.
Yeah, it was pretty crushing and, I mean, devastating.
John and Zoe created a GoFundMe page to help with the skyrocketing cost of Frances's personalized treatment. How expensive are the medications?
I think up to $2 million.
$2 million?
Yeah, and
For the medicine?
so that's a very specific medicine that would be for one person. So it costs a lot.
The idea that anyone can afford a $2 million treatment is insane.
There is no treatment for DHDDS. You need to develop the treatment.
Yeah.
And this disease is rare, but there's millions of kids with rare diseases.
So what do doctors say about Frances's prognosis?
I feel like nobody knows what's going to happen or how fast it's going to happen.
There's hope. There's examples of kids in front of us that have had cognitive improvements with these treatments.
Yeah.
And that gives us a lot of hope.
Is there one song that you guys perform that says Frances to you?
We have a song on the new album called Times of Fantasy, and it ends with this: I got a feeling things are gonna be just fine.
I feel it.
And Frances heard that song and she just started singing that
Yeah.
line. And we ended up bringing her into the studio to sing it with us
Yeah, she's
because she
on
would
it.
sing to the demo.
Just fine.
Her little voice pops out, and it's so perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, and what keeps you going?
I think seeing Frances happy, there are some success stories out there. That's a huge hope for everybody.
Yeah, and they are keeping hope alive. Frances, in fact, during our interview was right upstairs. She does perform with them, and she is the brightest light. But they said when they were talking about treatment, they said it's going to be expensive, and he said, we'll sell our house, and they said that's not enough. So it just shows you where they are. I mean, the fact that they needed a GoFundMe page and still do to raise money so that they can have some kind of treatment for their daughter.
And I mean, it's not that there's a cure, it's just some treatment to hold off symptoms and that
Just in between, but they're fighting for all kids, by the way. You have
Sure.
to. This was a remarkable couple, and I was honored to sit with them. It was an honor. Yeah, and by the way, a big thanks to the Rosevale Kitchen at the Civilian Hotel for letting us have our interview there. And we should mention you can find more on Frances's story on our website, today.com.